What's up, guys? Come with me today. We are in a forest in Cape Town and we are about to hunt and explore for some awesome porcini mushroom. Yes, a highly prized edible mushroom, otherwise known as Boletus edulis. So yeah, come with me on this beautiful, humid and rainy day in Cape Town. It's actually summer, but with rain and humidity in summer comes a good amount of mushrooms, especially Boletus edulis. The mushroom loves heat, it loves moisture, and it loves humidity. Come with me, let's go explore and enjoy the forest and all its beauty. So, I've been exploring some familiar locations, and so far I have been very lucky. I just spotted one a little bit deep within a crevice here, but this is all part of the fun and exploring of hunting this lovely mushroom. In this year, really awesome, really cool to see them grow on the same spot more than once. Yeah, I think I need to head around to get this one out. Oh, okay, going in. Get that one. There we go. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. A little bit old, but it's good. Still firm. Looks good. Like hasn't had much animals on it. So yeah, that's a good one. Let's keep exploring. So this is a very familiar spot to me. I've found a few here occasionally. It's always worth the check. At least double check old spots. So you never know what you may find. And as I say that, right through here, I can actually see a very, very nice specimen. Here we go. That's a beauty. I can just see from the stipe and the cap, we've got a nice healthy specimen. Let's get this guy out. Oh, there we go. And that's a nice one right there. Guys, I'm so mad at myself. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. And I actually hit an insane haul of mushrooms. Just have a look here. I placed them all together. Booyah! These are all nice sized and will make for a great meal. Look at this. Another one in my hand. Look at these. Awesome fucking mushrooms. Love it. So far, we are off to a very good start. I've probably been out here just under an hour and things are looking amazing already. Super excited to keep hunting, keep exploring, and let's see what else we can find. Now, sometimes you gotta keep your eyes peeled. Now, I don't always take these big ones, but I can feel it's quite old. So I'm gonna pop the cap off, and that's a good chunk of meat. Now, what am I about to do? Look at the size of this guy. Yep, and let that spore spread. And that's just some of the things that happens when you're foraging. So, not a bad thing. Those spores will spread in this area. That's also food that's now visible for all of the animals to eat. Okay, so I've been exploring quite deep into the forest, exploring a lot of areas for probably the past 30 to 40 minutes, and I was about to give up hope. Turned my head down to the side and managed to find some more. So these mushrooms are clearly all out in abundance. There's one. Let's reveal. Ooh, that's a beauty. That's a lovely specimen. Here's another one. Just over here. Okay. And I've got a very keen eye, and since this is the same location, I can see quite a few bumps around here, otherwise known as shrimps, so mushroom humps. Let's lift some of these pine needles for a surprise. We've got a bump here. Is it a Porcini? No, it's not. It's an old Rusula. That's okay. We've got another bump over here. That feels firm. Is it a Porcini? Yes, it is. There you go. Nice. That's a good specimen. And then there's another very well-sized bump over here. Let's feel firmness. Have a look. Is it a Porcini? I think it is. Ooh, and that's another lovely specimen. Now we pluck them. Happy with what I found here. That is, let's count it. So it's one. That's one over there. Then we've got 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get them out. Oh, that one's quite deep in. Close the hole up. Put that one there. Get the one behind me. That came out easier. Put that one there. Let's step over to these guys. Funny story. I actually did not see this. When I saw these two guys, I did not see this little guy. That's interesting. How the eye doesn't see everything, just like I mentioned. It's a nice little one. Put it over there. I'm just scaling away some leaves. Hopefully I'll find more. But let me pull this guy out. That's a beautiful specimen. Fresh underneath. That's very nice. Let's get that on there. Take this one out. So the weather has definitely been favorable for these guys. That's a nice one. Not too bad. Let's get rid of the dirt on it. Now I'm quite sad I do not have a basket with me, but I've got this little netted bag. My basket is in the car, and I will be taking it out on the second location. So yeah, that's right. After this we are going to another location, where I'm hoping to find some more, and then yeah, then I'll call it a day. Look at that guy, so pretty, just here under the ferns and everything. Let's open that up, and you can see it is. Ooh, this one goes quite deep, so I just got to be careful the way I pull it out. Oh, that came out easy. That's a beautiful specimen, reminiscent of the summer-like seps. They usually don't grow very thick. The soil obviously doesn't retain as much moisture as it does in autumn through to winter. So the nutrients, the soil density is not as rich, but it's still good stuff. You know, the smaller ones are better, they are tastier, they are sweeter, they are much more firm. This one has opened up. I think it's maybe a day or two old. Right guys, we are at forest number 2. Basket has been filled with the previous haul in the other mushroom spot. So yeah, we're about to explore an area that has both oak trees, and pine trees, and like I said, I prefer the porcinis in the oak. They are much sweeter, more firm, and have less little bugs and worms and things on them. But just have a look at how pretty this place is. Beautiful river running. Yeah, come with me once again and let's keep exploring. Look here, managed to find another porcini, a bit of a small one, but let's see. Here we go. Okay, so this one looks like it just popped up recently. Based on the color and the trees it's associated with, this type of porcini is known as Boletus aerus, or the bronze bolete. Beautiful specimen. This one I'll eat today. When they're this small, they are so delicious. Really cool. Let's keep hunting. We keep moving. Yeah. Oh. I think I found another one. We've got one guy over here. So that's one. We've got another tiny one over here. So these, to me, based on the stipe, look like Boletus reticulatus. Hey! Which is the Somerset. But this one might also be the Boletus aerus, the bronze bolete. Once it gets a bit of moisture, rain on it, it can sort of change the look of the cap. So we'll put this guy in the basket, and then thinking of leaving this small one, what I'll do is I'll just cover it like this, and if I have some time tomorrow, I'll come back and we'll see if that one is still there. But so far so good. This is my basket and we will keep hunting. These ones are quite small, but they are wet. I'm not sure how long they will last here. We are in the middle of summer, so I'm feeling like if I don't grab these, they might either be eaten or based on how moist they are, they might actually rot before they grow any further. But just look at how perfect and pretty the specimen is. Very cool. And this one goes into the basket as well. It's the smallest one so far. Like probably 20 to 30 minutes. I haven't found much since the last specimen, but as I was walking and recording now, I turned my eye over to the right and look what we have hiding under here. This looks nice. Ooh la 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 la. A beautiful trifecta. Take that off there. That. Really beautiful trifecta. And then if I move over here, another beautiful specimen hiding away, nice and chubby, really nice. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled in this location. Hopefully I find some more. Let's get this guy out of here. It's so cool when they do this. Grows a cluster. How cool is that? The specimen. Nice. Awesome. Wow, they are out in some good numbers in the oaks. Let's get this guy in the basket as well. So we are heading into a spot in the pine forest that's like right next to the little oak trail. There's a few spots up here I'm planning on checking now, and then we are going to move over to the oak trees on the other side. So exploring the pines, and one of the spots I found a beautiful cluster beginning of this year. Look at the size of these guys. Now look at this. This one has been munched on. Very clearly you can see the mouth marks, teeth marks, but all we can see, this is a quality specimen. And then behind me over here, another big beautiful specimen. Nice. What a beautiful specimen. Unharmed. Oh wow, look at that. Clean, pristine. Watch, let me close that hole. Hope for some more. That's a lovely one. Very happy. Very happy. So, still exploring this beautiful forest. And you know, if you don't have a good eye, you won't always find them. What I mean by that is, over here is a specimen just hiding away. However, quite wet. The stipe is quite thin, and I don't need it considering how full my basket is. So I'm at that point where I'm just going to be quite selective. Always good to keep your eyes peeled while exploring. I was just walking quite brazenly, and something told me to stop, just do like a full 360, and yeah, this awesome bump was here. Look at that. This is quite a nice specimen. A bit wet, but still firm. And let's get that out. There we go. Not bad. Good size, good freshness. But a yellowing might be a secondary fungal infection, but it should not affect the quality or taste of the mushroom. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. This one will go into the basket with the rest of it. So good so far. So far, so good. And after foraging, after hiking for a while, I saw this little lump here. It's a bit soft, but beautiful stipe. Look at that. That's a nice one. Really nice one. Let's get it out and have a look. Oh, that's a good one. And worthy of my basket. Very worthy of the basket. Let's get it in. Full. As you can see, an amazing haul of porcini. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll get these home and show you guys how I prepare them, how I cook them and process them for long-term storage through dehydration, as well as vacuum sealing for refrigeration and freezing. So yeah, thanks for joining the foraging journey. Let's take these home and get cooking. So, as you can see, I am cutting and slicing the mushrooms now. I'm about to dehydrate them as well as cook them. If you see, I am removing the yellow sponge at the bottom. So whenever the sponge turns yellow, it becomes really slimy and unenjoyable to cook and eat. However, this is fine to leave on when I dehydrate the mushrooms, because as you'll see in the dehydrator, I do leave some yellow mushroom sponges inside there. Yeah, so let's go dehydrate. So this is the dehydrator that I got, and then as you can see, I've processed most of those larger mushrooms. They have been cut into different sizes, as I will not be rehydrating these for usage. I will be grinding it all down to make a powder. or stock powder that can be either used as a soup base or seasoning for steaks and chicken, etc. But yeah, essentially I've sliced them all, put them on the necessary trays needed, and I'll slide them in the dehydrator now. Boom. So when it comes to mushrooms, especially the porcini, I have a preferred temperature, so essentially I'll put this on 60 degrees, so temp set, and then we go to 45. In the beginning I started off at 60. Yeah, somewhere online I read a study that mushrooms dehydrate and hold their nutrients best between 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. So you go any bit higher during this process, you can lose a lot of the important flavor components and nutrients of the mushroom. And then depending on the thickness and consistency of your thickness, you could probably get away with about 4 to 6 hours to dry your mushrooms. But because I've got a very inconsistent slicing going on here, and like I said, I'm intending to use this for more of like a powder for seasoning and stocks, I will then put this for around 8 hours. Yep, that's right. So this thing will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Cool. So 8 hours is my time at 60 degrees. I will check back in a couple of hours. Always just come and check, feel them. They might need to come out sooner or go a bit longer, or the temperature might need to drop. But yeah, that's it for popping them in the dehydrator. And cool, on to cooking them. So I'll be cooking mushrooms next, and you guys can see what I love to make with mushrooms, just to get the most out of it flavor wise. Because it is summer, we'll be making more of summer style dish rather than the hearty, warmy winter style dish. But yeah, here you go. So the mushrooms are almost done. Yeah, as you can see, I started on 60. On the other end, I drop it down to about 50. Yeah, 60 was quite hot to start off with, so finish it off at around 50 degrees. And yeah, so this is how they look when they dry. You can hear that. That's quite crunchy, and that's what you want essentially, just to make sure they dry correctly and they break and flake quite easily. So these I'm now going to put into a jar where I store most of my dried porcini, and then once I need to use it, I'll either just use it as is into like stews or soups, or I'll grind it down into a fine powder to use as a stock or a rub for meat and veggies, or whatever you want to put like some spice mushroom rub flavor into. Even like sauces, creamy sauces, these are nice to grind down into a powder and make a very rich mushroom creamy sauce. But yeah, as you can see, perfectly dry to the touch. Yeah, and we let that air out a little bit. I don't want to jar them immediately, so I give them about 5 minutes just to cool down from the heat, because if I jar them while warm, as you know, the jar is cold, mushrooms are warm, we don't want to create steam, because then it'll just start regaining new moisture. And yeah, these are very susceptible to moisture, so keep them in an airtight container if you do keep them, with freshness. If you vacuum seal these dried mushrooms, but that process is mainly if you are going to rehydrate them for future use as is. But these I do not like to rehydrate and use as is. I prefer to use it as a base flavor for stock, soups and stews, or a spice rub. Cool, let's get these into the jar. This is it basically. As you can see, I've got a nice collection here. I actually have much more than what's pictured here stored away in my pantry cupboard, but yeah, I thought I'd just get all these out and show you the various mushrooms that I've actually dehydrated. So as I dehydrated the porcini, as you can see, this is how it looks once I throw them in a jar. Jar's nice and tightly sealed, and yeah, this should last as long as probably 5 to 10 years. I don't know. There's no real shelf life for this, and I'm sure I'll eat it all before it even can expire. But yes, as you know, dehydrated food has a very long shelf life due to the moisture content not being sort of existent to non-existent moisture content, and that also obviously helps the product last much longer. So we've got Porcini here, very cool. Have a look. That's how it looks when it's in a jar. And then we've got some, okay. So we call these the Poplar Boletus, the Poplar Boletus. I don't have any videos on foraging these just yet, but I'll pop something up on the screen quick of me foraging them earlier this year. As you can see, these grow with the poplar trees here in Cape Town, South Africa. Yeah, so we call them Poplar Boletus or Poplar Boletus. There is another name for them, the scientific name. Can't get to it right now, but I'll pop it on screen quickly. Yeah. Then over here we have the sailor's mushroom that we were looking at in the forest. The one that I said I'm not a big fan of because they're quite tricky to clean up and process, and they don't exactly dry hard. So compared to the Porcini that just snaps, these dry, but they retain more of a soft leathery texture. However, the smell of these are so unique and deep. It kind of smells like marmite or soy, like a deep soy smell. Very weird, but very umami, and also a great additive for soup stocks and bases. Yeah, if you're going to cook them really long, really slow in like a soup or sauce, they add an amazing umami. And then last but not least, we've got, which I know is a global favorite, chicken of the woods. Yep, that's right. So this I harvested summer earlier this year, around February. They usually pop out in Cape Town, South Africa, and these retain their dryness quite nicely, and they're quite pleasant to rehydrate. I'm not a big fan of this mushroom. Personally, it lacks a lot of flavor, and I've experienced some weird dizziness or stomach churning effects from them. Everyone has a different reaction to any different mushroom, but for me these are nice to also just throw in soups and stock and stews when they are sort of fresher and they are not dehydrated. They are quite meaty and nice to use for like fried mushrooms, etc. But then I'd much rather just prefer fresh Porcini for that, as they have a better flavor profile, very woody, very earthy. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm about to cook the mushrooms, and you're probably wondering what the heck am I doing? Right, so I'm adding water into the pan first, and we want to get that water boiling. Once the water is boiling, we are then going to drop the mushrooms inside, and this is a technique that helps us firstly get rid of the high chitin content in the mushroom. So chitin is the heavy fibrous walls and cells that make up a mushroom. Our stomachs actually do not have the ability to digest these, so a lot of the time people can get sick from undercooking mushrooms, especially the Porcini Boletus edulis mushroom. And then secondly, this also helps release a lot of flavors and natural oils from the mushroom itself. So what we do is we are going to boil this down, and then once the water has reduced, we'll then add in some olive oil, some butter, some aromatics, and then we'll start sauteing the mushroom. Cool, so now we've got the mushrooms busy sauteing. I'm frying them up. I've added some olive oil and butter here. Shortly you'll see I'll add some garlic to get that flavors and aromatics in there, and then I'll add some dried herbs as well, and then obviously the typical seasoning, some salt, some pepper. Yeah, so as we get this sauteed, the idea here is to get them sauteed until we get that Maillard reaction, and the Maillard reaction is basically when it gets that caramelized brown sear. You'll see as I move it around, beautiful brown sear on the mushrooms, and as soon as most of the mushrooms have gotten that nice crispy brown sear on them, I've known I've unlocked the potential flavor profile of this mushroom, and I can then start compiling my little sandwich that I'm going to make. So yeah, let's get these mushrooms finished up and I will compile my lovely sandwich that I'm going to make. Enjoy.